What's up guys, Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today we're going to finally go over a beginner's guide to the Void. We have the art coming out, we have the new mode called Tree. I don't know what they actually ended up deciding on for the name. I think the name was Galactic Tree, so we're going to jump into both of those, as well as talk about the Compass, the Evolution Cube, the Obelisk, Void Temple, Realms Gate, and Vortex. So let's jump right into it. So in game, when you get your first E5 hero, you will magically get this Gate of the Void. You'll click it once, it will open up, and then you are finally into a ton more game modes. Now I know this can be a lot of stuff. There's already a lot of game modes, but then once you hit E5, there's so many more things to do. So let's start out with the really easy stuff and just go over the ones that aren't as important. Number one being the Obelisk of Heroes. So this is essentially just a leaderboard to tell people how powerful people are. Simple as that. There's nothing really you have to worry about here. If you want to try to push a certain faction, Transcendence, or all factions, you can give it a shot. But this is literally just the leaderboard for those whales out there. Number two is going to be the Void Temple. So the Void Temple is going to keep track of your progress in all the game modes outside of the Void. In Sealand, completing Sealand 20s will increase your damage by 30% to certain factions in the Void. Tower of Oblivion is going to make you have more health as well in Gate of the Void. Now, when it says Gate of the Void, that means every single game mode we're about to go over. Campaign, you're going to be getting more auto battle for doing certain difficulties in that campaign. It'll just give you more loot, which is good. Broken Spaces, this is going to give you more training material. So basically all of these materials listed, you'll get 15% more in Realms Gate. So that is only one of the game modes. It's not everything in the Void, because you got to remember, Gate of the Void, Realms Gate, Vortex, they're all different modes. Gate of the Void, that means everything, but Realms Gate is an individual game mode we'll go over here in a second. And then clearing certain levels in Aspen Dungeon will let you level up your heroes above the maximum level of 330 all the way up to 350 when you get death done. So if you're ever wondering where you are, where your progress is, this is a great place to come join. So next up is going to be Compass of the Transcended. So this right here is where you are going to jump into. You're going to take, this is where you're going to be doing your summoning. So cores, these cores right here, there's one place you can buy them in game, and that is going to be the marketplace right here. Core of Transcendence, 1500 gems a day. So these become very worthwhile to buy instead of scrolls or profit orbs. Once you get towards the late game, kind of end game transition, you're going to get tons, like as far as value goes, as far as how much food you get and hero copies, Core of Transcendence is by far one of the best for people in the later game. Plus, when you do actually summon these, you're going to have a chance at getting a Transcending Sphere. So these again are very important because these Transcending Spheres can be broken apart into Stellar Shards or into Crystals of Transcendence. We'll go over those here in 1 second, but just remember, this is where you summon them. You'll notice there are two platforms here and this little clicky button here. First off, the click, if you are on Compass of the Transcended Fate, that essentially means every single pull has a 6.67% chance to get you one of these spheres. Kind of like a high roll, you want to see if you can do good, but you can also get less than, of course, when you click it, Compass of Transcendent Guidance. So Guidance is a guaranteed Transcending Sphere for every 15 summons. You need to decide if you want to try to risk it and high roll it, or click that little eye in the center to pivot between the two and decide which one you actually want. Now, the two podiums here, one on the left side, you can pick any hero from the normal 4 factions to put on this pedestal. And on the right side, you can pick any light or dark hero on the pedestal. Now, it does take about 2 months for new heroes to show up here, so that's why you will not see Forces just yet. But essentially, every time you do a summon, the percent chance will climb up. Normal faction, you can't see right behind me, sadly, but it climbs at a higher rate than light and dark. But this is a great way to target your heroes you want to build. Now, you do have conversion up here. This is for the Transcending Spheres. You can do this in multiple spots in the game, but you can come in here and convert them. So Crystals of Transcendence, these are going to be used to summon any Transcendence heroes, while Stellar Shards are going to be for Void imprinting your E5 heroes that have the Void imprint tree. So you have to decide which way you want to go. Talking about that specifically, the Evolution Cube, this is where you're going to spend your Crystals of Transcendence. It takes 5 million to swap to one of the new heroes. We will be having Void Asmodel coming out very soon as well. But what you need is just a single copy of one of these heroes. That's all you need. And one of these Crystals of Transcendence up to 5 million. And then you can convert to the Transcendence hero that you want. I highly suggest, if you're looking to do it soon, I would highly wait. Chinese New Year, so roughly in February of 2021, we are going to be getting Asmodel as the next one. You might want to wait and see which one. And one thing to note is you can pick any star quality of the hero. So 5-star all the way up to E5. It will convert that straight into that version. One thing to note, we'll touch base on, if you do convert like a 5-star, to level that hero up in the creation circle, you'll notice there is that Transcendence faction here. You need to level up these heroes with that faction's heroes. So essentially, if you build a queen at 5-star, you're going to have to use Abyss food. And if you build a Shia at low level, you're going to have to use Fortress food until you're at 10-star, just like a normal hero from each one of those factions. Next up is the Realms Gate. So Realms Gate, you can see there's tons of ways to get tons of resources here. Up the top right, you will see how much energy you have to do battles. Normal battles will cost 5 energy. Other ones will cost more depending on what they are. But there are a few things to look at. So behind me, I can't, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to move myself. Give me 1 second. We will do it. We will, let me just hide myself real quick. So right here where I just hid myself, this little Void Corruption button, this is going to be where you set the difficulty in game. So that will be, of course, the higher your difficulty, the more resources you're going to get. And of course, there are many different tiles here. You will get some things along the way that will help buff your team, like blessing bonuses. These will come from the tiles that look like, oh, are they not here? These right here. The Idle Ruins will give you buffs to your team. The other thing you see here is crystals. So these crystals will come from tiles like these, the Void Crystals. These will do certain things to the tiles either on your floor or the next floor, and either make more chest drop, bunch of different things. Typically, there's one thing you need to focus on every time you go through the level. That is this one right here, the Mysterious Cavern. So this is a mine shaft that you can put a hero in to give you bonus Crystals of Transcendence. Now that's really important because sometimes you can double, triple, or quadruple the amount of crystals you will redeem from this tile. Always path to this. One thing to note is if you do the automatic smash, essentially that will auto go through the battles for you. That's what happened on this account right here. A lot of times it'll skip it, and even if you do actually hit this tile to go into it, it will not put that bonus hero in to give you bonus rewards. So a lot of times I'll try to make sure I get to that tile, throw a hero in there to get the bonus resources, and then smash the rest of the way through. There's a couple things I typically try to say avoid. Land of Treasures with the hidden chests. I usually avoid these mainly because overall you're going to hurt your progression early game when trying to get through and get more Stellar Shards and crystals. The question marks, kind of, you can high roll them or low roll them. Typically, I try to stay away from both of these. And then, of course, you'll notice the normal tiles, Void creatures, have this normal monster looking face, whereas the ones that have this kind of pointy diamond face are Trials of Puppets. So these are going to be ones that are very, very difficult compared to the normal tiles. Be warned, some of these have insane amount of CC, so you might take quite a few attempts to actually get through it. One thing I will say with Void Corruption, I would try to set your Void Corruption only to the height, to the level that you can one-shot most waves. Once you're two-shotting, then you're losing out on progress and getting through the waves faster. As you clear each one of these levels, you'll notice it says level 2 of 5. Every time you clear a level, you will be able to increase your Void Corruption by 1. But of course, don't just automatically go to the highest one. It might be really bad depending on the power of your team. And then lastly, you can plan your path ahead. So essentially, you can click these flags. It'll tell you the path you want to take. So even if you're on this first tile right here, You can path to go any path you want. Once you get to this far right tile and you finish it off, you will get to the end of the tile. So we're going to jump in here real quick, show you what it's all about. There's really not much to it. As you can see, most of this battle is just very, very basic fighting. You can, of course, skip every battle. You move on through, you defeat each mob, and then you continue on to the next one. So this is very low difficulty mode, so that's why you want to try to do this. When you beat everybody in the tile, you then are going to go into the portal to the next tile. So we will go through this so it shows you what it looks like to move on to the next layer. We'll just fight through these real quick, and then you'll notice on the left side here, there's this big old puppet. It tells you what you're going to get for rewards, what they do, but most of these battles are very, very difficult. Now, if you cannot beat it in one attempt, you'll notice their HP does go down. They do not recover like a lot of things in the game. So it did take us 2 attempts. We had to do, we'll go to the portal, and then we instantly get teleported to the next tile. And then you can set up your path where you want to go. And then you can hit that smash button and let it autopilot itself. So that is that. Next up is going to be the Void Vortex. So this one is a very, very, very difficult game mode. If you get frustrated here, just try to do your basic attacks. Don't try to push. To push in the Vortex, you need very endgame hero setups. You'll notice there are tons of different ranks you can get to. I think the highest anybody is, I don't even know if I think someone's in Defiler. Not over here, but there are people in game at Defiler, but there are a bunch of different ranks, and based on what rank you get to, you will get these rewards at the end of the 2 days that it is open. It is open 4 days out of the whole 7-day week. You can take a look at the leaderboards if you want to as well. And then there are some bonus Vortex leaderboard gems that can given out. So these right here, you don't have to accomplish beating Pioneer Area 1, just somebody on your server does, and everybody else will get gifted those gems, which is very, very nice. So these planets, you will notice, have a very random assortment of heroes. They start out very easy, and then eventually you get to Garudas and carries, and it becomes very difficult to say the least. So you have these energy burners up here. These are your stamina to fight. You have these protection signets, which actually protect you right here. It'll tell you which factions you have protection from, and then when you look at your team in combat as well, you'll notice they have the little shield under them. If you come across a wave you think you cannot defeat, you can click reset the opponent, but that will burn 5 of your energy. But if you do get stuck, it is a great way to get past it. Beat all 5 planets in a solar system right here, and you'll get teleported to the next area. Again, this is something you probably don't need to focus on too much. If you want to, you can see what the void radiation does in this top corner here. It's basically going to lower the damage you deal and have a higher chance for you to be CC'd by random effects. So be prepared. This is going to be one of the most frustrating game modes you probably experience until you are an endgame whale. So just to be fair, that is that. And then we move on over to the brand new 2 items, Void Ark and Galactic Tree. So the Void Ark here is pretty much like your Celestial Island ship. You can upgrade them here on the left hand side, upgrade your collector. You can upgrade your lab technology. So this one is pretty cool. The left side here are for crystal raid buffs. Crystal raids are going to be the PvP fights that you fight in the Ark. And then, of course, the right side are going to be for Void Lord battles. These are for the PvE bosses. I would kind of highly suggest staying away from this right-hand side. The PvE bosses in this game mode are very, very easy. So do not stress about the Void bosses tech. Go straight for crystal raids. Last one is going to increase your disintegrator cap. Now this is going to be your essentially energy you're going to use for special battles. So right here on the right hand side, this is one of the most important parts, navigation compass. This is where you're going to jump into. You're going to get rewards based on your exploration, and you're going to have this big old map that you travel around claiming different nodes. So by clicking on a node, actually it looks like we have some already unlocked. You can only progress so far, and it really depends on how many unexplored planets you have on the map. So we need to find them right here. See how these are purple? These mean you've already explored them, you've clicked the node, but these here mean they need a hero in them in order for you to proceed. So right here, we'll jump into this one. You'll see it does show a 10 star there, but technically you can put any star hero in it. You can put anything down to a 6 star, but you will notice your resources generated will go down all the way up to 10 star, where it is a break even. You get no bonus. So 8 stars you lose. Actually, they're all 8 stars, so they'll show the same. But once you get to 10 star, you get the reward shown. Once you put a higher enabled hero, you'll get more, all the way up to an E5 with the maximum benefit. All you need to do is use these resources here to gather them. You'll notice you see the counter up the top for collectors, and then you have disintegrators here as well. So collectors, we want to go around. We want to throw as many heroes in these as possible, get them going, give us those resources, because you'll notice you can even get crystals of transcendence and stellar shards here, along with the exploration points, which goes towards the leaderboard on this game mode, and void crystals. So we did all 3 of those, which means we can travel around further, claim more nodes. Some of them are blanks and literally just give you resources, while other ones you have to actually interact with. So we are going to go to these. We are going to claim them. We're going to throw in another hero. We get less resources, but it's still resources. When they first released this game mode, you could only put 10 stars and above in. Now, at least they give you the option to, you know, be a little bit more flexible, get some negative resource, or not negative resources, but not as many resources. And it seems to be working out pretty good. After that, we can keep moving on. We can keep exploring. We can throw one more in, but technically here, you can only do 3 of these void, what are they called? Void loads, essentially. That's what your collectors will be for. These other chests, these Transcendence vaults, will be perfectly fine to be collected and clicked with any star hero. So now you see we're out. This is where it's going to run into an issue. So we cannot collect that one. We can still keep moving, but as soon as we get 3 of these here, even this one right here, we can now no longer progress. You are done. You have to wait 22 hours. I think, it's like roughly 22 hours to get all your heroes back, and then you can keep exploring further. Now, there are some other special nodes out here that you do not have to path to. The first one are these red ships to plunder. These are the PvP battles we were talking about. So let's throw in our heroes and see what happens here. Of course, we're just going to skip the battle. We did win, so we get resources from this node. It disappears, and essentially if someone who is protecting that PvP node loses a battle, they lose 10% of their savings. So what they've actually mined there, they lose some of them. In the end of the day, they're still gaining resources, but this is a nice way. You want to run around, you want to try to find all the PvP battles that you can. And then when you're done, you are done for the day, essentially. So there is one more type of node that floats around out here, but there's only one of them per map, and that is the Void Lord. It's a PvE battle. There we go. I thought there was one more floating around. I thought there was, and I found it. So we got all of our resources. I do not see the Void Lord. He does look like a little monster floating around in the sky. But you can fight him for more resources. There are a couple things. You can set up your defensive team down here. You can see what the percentage explored is here. And then just like in Realms Gate, you can auto smash. One thing you have to remember is if you auto smash, all those PvP battles will not be done. They'll just skip them. So much like if Realms Gate, you don't feel like taking the time to play it, you want this to be a quick idle game mode, hit that smash button and you are done. But all the resources you are generating are going to be usable in the central hall. So all of these things can be bought with a certain number limit, including the chaotic eggs, which will come into play in the Galactic Tree. But you gain resources through the game mode once you reach a certain number of resources spent. And you'll notice this is kind of a little catch here. Something that Lux did that not many people realize. He bought out all the packs here, and now he's stuck not quite at the limit to move on to the second store. So you kind of want to focus your first 100,000 on getting your first egg because it costs the most, and then buy the extra pieces. At that point, you will unlock the next one. You'll notice we need to spend 12,000 more resources to then move on to the next one. You can get an entangled egg. Once you spend more resources, you'll move on to the next, and then finally you'll have this last store. So yes, there are plenty opportunities to buy crystals of transcendence, stellar shards, pet materials, or monster. I guess they're called protosses, essentially what they are. Even cores, when you get to the later levels, you can buy up to 10 cores. for free, 100% for free, which is kind of cool. And then, of course, lastly, there is that leaderboard. It'll tell you where you are ranking based on the exploration points you're getting. And at the end of every month, this will finish. It's a 30-day season, I believe. You'll get all these resources, the star spawn cores, and of course, some eggs. These mysterious eggs could be any one of the 3 types of eggs there are. So you can even see the whole leaderboard and see who ranks up based on exploration points and where you are. But lastly, those eggs are one of the most important things coming to this new game mode, because you will have your tree. So you'll notice you'll have your whole tree here. There's a bunch of things to level up. First and foremost is the tree itself. So you can upgrade your tree and increases the monster damage bonuses. That's going to be really important here. And then, of course, you'll notice we had our first egg on this account. Sadly, got the Spirit of Honor. It increases HP. It gives bonuses for Fortress Heroes. It's really interesting, and it'll show you how you upgrade it with these other resources. So it's pretty cool. Upgrading, if you don't want to travel around your tree and clicking on them, if you click on upgrade, you can see all the star spawns that you have unlocked. But the big thing here is going to be these awaken eggs. So there's 3 style of eggs that you can get: chaotic egg, entangled egg, and somber egg. So you'll see how many you have down the bottom here. When you awaken them, the first one you do is a guaranteed pet. You'll always be getting one of these star spawns no matter what on your first egg. After that, it is only a 7% chance to actually get one. And of course, after you awaken 15 without getting one, you're guaranteed one. So there is a small pity timer in there. But what are the pets? Well, these pets look really cool. Let's be honest. These pets look really, really awesome. You'll notice certain eggs can only have certain monsters and other resources. So each one of these are the normal 4 factions. So you have a shadow, a fortress, an abyss, and a fortress or a forest. But you'll notice it gives these buffs. So each one of these spirits will give attack and HP. They'll give out different types of stats based on which one you get. Every single one of your heroes gets these bonuses, except for this stat bonus for a certain faction will get a extra bonus. So forest heroes with this pet will give a 50% bonus to this HP that they're giving you, and so on and so forth. They also have a dark one, a light one, and a transcendence one. Again, increase all damage dealt. That seems pretty spicy. And lastly, out of the last egg, the entangled egg, the best ones in my opinion, you have class-based star spawn spirits. So these give really good bonuses based on what class there are too. So everybody will get attack. Everybody will get attack and ignoring evasion. So basically ignore dodging. But rangers get a 50% bonus. So whereas everybody will get 12% anti-dodge, so to speak, well, guess what? Rangers will actually have 18 instead of that 12. So those are pretty cool. It does take a while. I think about 22 hours to awaken these eggs. You can speed it up for like 1,000 gems, I believe, if you want them to pop immediately, but there's really no rush for that. But yeah, that is the game mode of the Void. This is the Void. And if you guys didn't notice, if you don't want to click the back button, you can always click on this because this is the idle continent. It brings you back over to here. So let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments down below. We'll try to answer them as much as possible. But I figured with Void Ark and Galactic Tree coming out, when this video comes out, we have about 2 days until these 2 new game modes come out. It's supposed to be January the 20th. We're going to be getting it. So about 4 days away, hopefully. Well, by the time this video comes out, about 2 days away. Hopefully this helps you guys out, and hopefully this also helps out new players. I know a lot of people have been asking. There's not really good guide on all these beginner game modes once you hit E5, and there is a lot to it, and it's ever expanding. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Make sure you do take 1 second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys next time.